Today is the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, and while many people talk about where they were when the attacks on the World Trade Centers happened, for others the event of that day changed the rest of their lives.
Lieutenant Colonel Jay Sheldon had joined the National Guard in 1997. He was in college when the attacks happened, and Major Chance Schaffner joined the National Guard around 6 months after 9/11. I got to sit down with both of these combat veterans from North Dakota to learn what 9/11 means to them and why it remains a big reason they continue to serve today.
Like I said, I came in right at, it was about 6 months after 9/11 happened, about a year actually I should say. And then I went to basic training and my job skill training, and about 6 months later we deployed to Iraq, and that would have been 2004. We went to Iraq and we did, we weren't sure what we were going to do. We were the second rotation to go through, and we were heavy equipment operators and well, combat explosive experts, and we thought, well, all combat is over, so what are we going to be doing over here? Well, as that time the IEDs were becoming really prevalent in Iraq, so that was our mission, was to clear the roads for IEDs so that supplies can come in for all the other people and keep the roads safe for even the populace. So we spent a year doing that, and I was a young enlisted soldier at the time. I turned 20 years old when I was there. We did a year there. My company, we lost 2 soldiers doing that route clearance mission as we learned more about what we were doing, and reflecting then, just like what Jay was saying about, you kind of nudge through to get through to the mission, and then now you come back, you reflect more on when you come home, and it's 9/11 for me is reflecting on those individuals that did perish, and then understanding how important it is that we continue to keep that legacy alive.
Probably the event that I feel like defines my combat experience most was with another air defense unit that was operating in Afghanistan at the same time. They had been ambushed, and in that ambush, Nathan Goodarn was killed. Sam Floberg lost his leg, and Nathan's cousin, C.J. O'Berry, ended up being transported to our base, where we had a medical facility where they took care of Sam before they transported them back to Germany and ultimately back to the States. I'd known C.J. and Nate really pretty well up to that point, so that was a experience that and memories that really probably codify ultimately kind of the meaning of all of this. Previous to that event, a couple other soldiers from the 88 were killed in a roadside bomb attack, and then a few others injured, and they were just events that, while you're there, you try to subdue things because you got to get through the day-to-day operations and duties and responsibilities, but as time goes by and you get to reflect on those, it actually becomes probably more impactful as you get a little more time to think about how that impacted your life.
How do you choose to spend 9/11 and talk about the anniversary?
I always try to, no matter where you're at least spend some time reflecting, not only on the people that were lost after the fact, but all the people that responded to and the lives that were lost on that day in the initial response to the terrorist attack. So thankful for all the first responders and all the people that ran into an unknown situation at the World Trade Center. And then since, just trying to remember those from North Dakota that we've lost, and really everybody, the 14 Army National Guard soldiers that we've lost since. Try to just give them credit in some Veterans Day speeches that I've given. I talk just about, every day is Veterans Day, and every time we get a chance to listen to the national anthem, I try to reflect on all of those individuals and their family and friends and the people that they've left behind.
For civilians, how do you encourage them to either get involved on 9/11 or talk with veterans such as yourself in an open, honest way about what happened? Or, do you have any advice for us civilians who want to thank you for your service?
I think there are still events going on. I know in Bismarck, Team Red, White, and Blue is conducting an event on Memorial Bridge that afternoon, evening time frame. So I think just, you can do it in however you want, remember the day, but just take some time to think about and reflect on the people that sacrificed so much from the days of that event and all of those that sacrificed since. And people continue to sacrifice. The global war on terror is kind of over in the sense that we're not in Iraq or Afghanistan anymore, but there are still soldiers and military members deploying around the world all the time for other conflicts. And so just to thank you is always greatly appreciated, knowing that your service is not, being considered a negative thing or a bad thing. Just helps reinforce the decisions that all those military members made at some point in their life for whatever reason they made it.
Chance, anything else from you?
Well, I say a lot of times with folks ask me about it, why do you serve, or why do you continue to serve, or what were things like? It's always, I just go back to is someone's got to do it. Someone's got, on someone's worst day, we have to be ready to support that. And for those families that lost their soldier, or the soldiers that were with soldiers that got lost, it's always it's as much as veterans don't want to talk about it, I think having just to ask the question is, hey, could you tell me about it? And a lot of times that just helps even those folks, even just to talk. And and we never forget those folks that we did lose, or even if you ever had the opportunity to go to the towers in New York City, that is a very real experience. For me, having done deployed and then going to 9/11 and seeing why we did this and why we went there, it really comes home to understanding that it affects a lot of people, and what we can come together as a nation, as a community, as a state, and even as a Guard here is very important. That how we know that we still have soldiers that are doing this job, even though it's not on the news anymore. We are still feeling the effects of that happened 23 years ago.
Well, thank you both for your service, for being with me today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Today, the Mandan Fire Department is hosting an annual 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb, and that's happening actually right now at the Starion Sports Complex, and that's to benefit the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Also, Governor Doug Burgum has directed all flags flown at half-staff in remembrance of the victims of 9/11 terrorist attacks. And Major Chance Schaffner was mentioning the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. I said that is on my bucket list to go see that and to experience that. You have seen it, huh,
I
Jeff?
saw it in 2012, and yeah, it's a pretty moving experience.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you to them, and thank you to everybody out there who's part of the military.